right, so before I start my first piece, I wanted to call the ancestors into the room. So for this first poem, I want to call the ones who came before us, the ancestors who carry language, rhythm, and survival in their bones, the ones whose prayers and sacrifices make it possible for me to stand here tonight. I also want to thank my lovely mama and invite ancestors again in their presence. This first piece is called Spell Work, Inherited, How My Mother Taught Me to Write. I've been writing like my mama hemmed poems into my palms. Like every woman in my bloodline braided ink into their fingers. My bloodline been good with their hands, weaving, working, worrying, praying. I just let it sing on the page and I turn all that labor into language. My mama plants gardens in shadows where the light doesn't reach, taught me to plant forgiveness in small, resistant pots, taught me how to pour water and empathy, how to pour love, how to kiss the roots of things too stubborn to change. My mama taught me how to speak life into dry ground. She taught me stitching ain't just cloth work, to sew is soul work. Showed me how to thread grief into fabric, how to bind myself back together, how to knot what poverty and violence tried to unravel, how to tighten what the world tried to pull apart. My mama says, I'm the little girl who wrote on her wrist, who clenched her fist around a pen, used poetry like gin to write away her sin, who gripped the ballpoint pen and squeezed worries into verse, because poetry was the only magic that ever cast me back first and meant it. I learned that poems are just garments for a soul too wild to wear ordinary cloth. We are spellcasters. Every poem a spoke in mutiny, a rebellion, an alchemy of hope pressed into calloused hands, too tired to hold dreams, yet still we're casting spells. We turn suffering into superpowers, transmute wounds into wisdom, and pain into progression toward our purpose. We take the bruises, backhands, and broken wishes, and spin them into bridges, into bonfires, into blood songs. I learned early that being too loud meant being labeled dangerous, that the world won't always hand you a storybook ending, but I could carve folk tales out of misery, weave fairy tales from fracture, become my own wizard with nothing but a pen and a crooked spine full of stubbornness. Poetry was never just art. Writing is vital. There's poetry and prayer, so poetry is survival. It's spell work. It's science. The way an artist visualizes a mural in their mind and manifests it to the physical, creating is spiritual. And my pen has always been a ritual. Every stanza is a song. Every rhyme a resurrection. Every metaphor is a map back to myself. I am the same little girl who once scribbled spells into drywall, begging for a new world. I am the woman who now spits spells into microphones, building new worlds out of nothing but breath and ashes of imagination. Because poetry is how we conjure breath after the breaking. I mastered my magic because I stopped waiting for permission to believe. I don't just write for myself. I write like my grandmother's calluses live in my pen. Like my mother's prayers bloom between stanzas. Like every broken thing they've mended, I'm sewing too. But mine comes out in poems instead of hymns. And I've been writing like lineage lives in my hands. Like every woman before me knew how to mend what the world tried to tear. I spin what they carried into something that speaks. This is my inheritance, the spell work in my skin. Every word, every line is a patchwork quilt. This is spell work. Yeah. Thanks so much. This next piece is called I'm Black, so this poem is kind of where it all started. I wrote my first real poem in 6th grade, and that poem was called I'm Black, so it's this poem right here. I wrote this in the middle of class, and it's become now an award-winning piece for pretty much every slam that I attend. I'm Black has changed, obviously, over the years, and it always sounds differently, so I'm always adding names, taking names out, the flow changes, but this is 6th grade me, I'm Black. I'm black, blacker than you can understand. I come from goddesses who wore their essence in the palms of their ways of lifting sisters like no other can. I wear virtue, breathe life into my brothers like no other man. Cause I am love and light. Come look into my sight and see my reflection. My brown-skinned mother gave birth to me so I could give birth to a new generation of African queens who inspire to create meaningful inspiration. I don't embrace hatred. I got sister blood and soul all over my shoelaces. Tie those together, it's in my genes, in my nature. Bye. I'm black like West African women with thick hips and full lips, like single mothers with tight fists, like fried eggs and cornbread, jello bright, jerk chicken, fish chips, and grits. Cause this is soul food, y'all. You know, soul food. I'm black like coffee with no cream. Black like silent scream, Dr. King's I have a dream, let freedom ring. I'm just black. I'm black enough to fight for civil rights. I'm black enough to reflect the light. Black enough to broadcast my pride like Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? I'm black enough so that when these words touch, they leave fingerprints on your very soul. So, how black? Black enough so that when these words touch, they leave fingerprints on your very soul. Black from within. Ancestors who unlock the mystery that lies between Genesis and Revelations. Black enough to stick up like a sore thumb and represent a new nation. Black enough to spot and think before I speak. I'm black enough to absorb more than just heat. See, this is knowledge, and I am wisdom. Understand me, see. I'm a proud African American, richness in my melanin, mocha skin, kings for men. You know it's legit, because fight for power is in the blood of my heritage. With a little bit of civil rights, Assata Shakur, single black mothers in the struggle, hip hop, Tupac, Jay-Z is a hard knock, Motown, James Brown, James Baldwin, Huey, Colin Kaepernick, Ruby, Trayvon Martin, Harriet, Ketanji Brown, Bell Hooks, Emmett Till, Rena Moran, Sandra Bland, and Malcolm X, who be the keeper to my brother man. When I give birth to another soul, I was so lovingly, so proudly, unapologetically say, hey, baby, you're black, blacker than you'll ever understand. Thank you. This next piece has become a crowd favorite. I won 2 slams with this piece, so I'm going to perform it here tonight. It's called Ode to the Hood, Where I'm From. I'm from elementary and high school dropouts, from playgrounds with torn basketball hoops and stolen dreams. I'm from bus stops and long-ass walks, from Arnold's gun store, Robert's shoes, the liquor store, 7 Mile, $5 boutiques, George Floyd Square, and the corner of Chicago and Lake Street. I'm from the intersections where bullets and color wars meet, from stolen halos and streetlights that don't blink, prayers left on voicemail. From women who wear gold on every finger, poppies rock rope chains with the Jesus piece, and uncles with bankrolls thick as loyalty. I'm from the Holy Ghost and church. But did you still up on her first? From absent birthdays, a deadbeat father, a strong mother, and a home where dysfunction is just background noise. Sirens and helicopters sound like a vacation. Where I'm from, the school's pipeline to prison isn't a stretch, it's a bus stop. I'm from IEP plans, redlining, yellow tape, Social Security, and Section 8. I'm from hopping gates, cop call, thin walls, pit bulls snarl with silver chains round their necks. I'm from cold cases and superheroes who don't wear capes. From chip polish and cheap paint left molding into slumlords. From evictions and pawn and family heirlooms handed down at birth. I'm from that generational curse and witches who survived the spell of poverty. I'm from bare-handed healers, seers, medicine women who cut the life from your body without surgery. I'm from the streets that gave my TT HIV. May she rest in peace. I'm from the bullet in my daddy's knee, the deep scar on my mother's cheek. I'm from collect calls and bail money, halfway houses, screen door, chain guards, steel with brass finish. Who that be? I'm from niggas in ski masks, wearing death like fashion. I'm from tattooed portraits and men and women easily fractured by bad habits. I'm from the war on drugs, freedom riders, Little Rock 9. I'm from black women 3 times more likely to die on hospital beds bringing life. I'm from the transatlantic slave, Mississippi muddy boots of trade, from the great migration, tobacco farms and plantation. The fabric of my history burns with wildfires and colonization. I'm from gentrification, where cities are built on one side of the street. I'm from couches wrapped in plastic, Sunday cleanups, lavender incense burning, Keith Sweat, Mary J, and Neo Soul on the stereo. I'm from all those stereotypes. I'm from mud and sand. I'm from my mother's prayers and claps hands. I'm from prophecy, survival, from faith. Grew up hearing mom say, good things come to those who wait. I'm from her breath, when she professed, it ends with me. I am the rose that blossomed, the one that shouldn't have bloomed from concrete. Thank you. This next piece is called Bloodlines and Bibles. And this is about my grandmother who passed away when I was about 5 years old. So I didn't get a chance to really meet her and understand her as a woman. But she came to me in a dream once, and she told me that because she died early, and she was like, since I wasn't there for you on earth, I'm going to be there for you on the other side. So I know that she's my guardian angel and my spirit guide. So this is for my grandmother, Bloodlines and Bibles. For the grandmother and the women who prayed us into possibility. History stares back at me through the obituary, black as slavery. Jimmy Lee Lloyd, born Jim Crow, Mississippi, 1945, 40 miles from where they lynched 14-year-old Emmett Till, Sunflower County soil, same ground I was born on. Her hands calloused, blistered fingertips, hair springing in freedom towards heaven, smiling. 4 sons, 1 daughter. Branded with a name carried through cotton fields and kitchen floors. She lived through it too. Worked the fish plant. Under the Mississippi sun, it don't rush for anybody. It stretched across slow hours, fed her family with tired hands and an unfolded fist. Seasoned catfish with Laurie's paprika, lemon pepper, served with spaghetti and a biscuit. I imagine how many dimples she pressed into her palms, how she massaged valleys out of her hands. And like most soldiers, she died on her soles, alone. Her chest collapsed like a worn church pew, too much given and not enough rest. She came to me in a dream once, where my memories of her still reside. She said, since I wasn't there for you on earth, child, I'll protect you now as your forever spirit guide. And after her death, Mama got her white holy Bible. Notes inked in faith, guarded by spirits in a wooden cupboard. When my second eldest brother got his first haircut at 13, Mama swept his strand into Genesis as a bookmark. When our cat Lucy lost a tooth in a fight with the vet, she tucked it in Psalms. That Bible has held our family for over 20 years, and Mama buried offering in its pages and not a single leaf neglected. In return, Grandma sends her love through every passage, keeping us covered and protected. This next piece is called Correction Ain't Cosmetic. So this is a prose piece. The first time I learned to love myself was a pimple. White head screaming at my black ass, like it had something urgent to say. Forehead loud, 4th grade, mirror all up in my business. And being a black girl with acne, the worst. Whole community roasted me. You look like a Nestle Crunch bar. My shit would cluster at the center of my forehead, call me out like I was the enemy. Pimples jumped me on purpose on picture day. And that's when the war started. When my skin skin stopped being silk and started feeling like shame. Auntie said, black don't crack, but mine's crusted, bumpy, popped ugly. In high school, I wore makeup, mastered the art of camouflage, masked my blemishes with brushes, blended my freckles into the background of constellations, trying to draw perfection, pressed powder into my cheek like war paint, pretty, but layered in insecurity. My face, dotted with galaxies and melanin moon craters. I wanted to trade places with the girls whose cheeks were blank pages. No stories of struggle, no mascara from last night breakdown, just smooth. But here I am, face mapped as stardust. I didn't ask to be a battleground. My skin declared war before I learned how to fight back with patience. You can't contour pain. You can't blend away the breaking. Correction ain't cosmetic. Healing is deep tissue. It starts within. But some of us weren't made for magazines. We were built to wear the truth in every pore, to bear witness through every bump, every barrier. So I don't owe you pretty. My skin is political. I am a movement, a constellation of scars that remember everything the world tried to bleach and kill. This face, it doesn't flinch anymore. It testifies. Coils. My crown is my garden. Remember when India R.E. sung, don't need ya silicone, I prefer my own, but God gave me it just fine. My kinks and coils don't need to be defined, not sleeked nor greased. My afro grows and flows up and outwardly, stretching the laws of science, defying gravity. I am magical, and the world lives inside me. My hair reflects God's nature. It's like the texture of thick bark on trees. Just hydrate my strands with rain, castor oil, cocoa butter, and baby, I smell like a sweet honeybee. My 4C is lovely because it's phenomenally made beautiful. I was kissed by the king who nourished my roots in holy water down to the cuticle, the follicle. My crown is my garden. And each seed that I plant, the coil blossoms strong and abundantly beyond the white soil of embedded conditioning. We were taught to think that nappy meant dreadful, to feel ashamed of 4C hair that can't be contained with their bobby pins. And so our sister locks don't bend to Western beauty conformity. As I rebel like Angela and march for peace, my pearls and coils be dancing in the wind, boldly and free. My magnificent hair was created to wander and to stare in orbit, in stardust, in black infinity, for all to see that the standard is kinky, is coily. Don't need ya silicone. I prefer my own, but God gave me it just fine. And so I sing the song like India R.E. because I am, will be, naturally me. Okay. Okay, so first I want to pause and give gratitude and thanks to my fifth grade teacher, Ms. Hardenberg, who is here. I won't point at you, but I just want to say thank you to all the Minneapolis school teachers. And the reason why is because this next piece, I have a deaf and hard of hearing teacher. I wear hearing aid, and she's not here with us tonight. She's at the State Fair at the concert, but her name is Sarah Noble, and she is, I call her like my second mother. She's like a godmother to me, and she's just one of those women that just shaped who I am today. And so, shout out to the Minneapolis public school teachers, including Ms. Hardenberg. All right, to hear in another verse, the first verse of self-love. Second grade, the effing system clung to my shirt like an accessory of embarrassment I didn't ask for. My hearing aids in my ears buzzing like they had opinions on everything. Two tiny betrayals louder than my self-esteem. I sat in the front row of the class, trapped in static, trapped in a disability I wanted to disown. And when I said what too many times, like I was practicing for a role I didn't audition for, when I thought they said rat instead of cat, Miss Branch instead of Miss Brant, that's when they found out I wasn't quite normal. Dark-skinned black girl, poor girl, disabled girl, different. Then came Miss Sarah, white lady with bouncy curls, a husband, a dog, a cat, and a Prince playlist. She was a Northside Minneapolis girl, and she had a smile that made whole rooms lean in. She wore warmth and laughter like perfume, a swirl of lavender and deep blue, the colors of purple rain humming in her aura. Her language was ASL, American Sign Language. She moved her sweet hands like a conductor, fingers dancing like strings on a cello, orchestrating confidence deep into my soul. Symphonic melodies poured from her palms as she signed words and spoke to me like the way choirs do, and the way choirs sing hallelujah into the future, full of life and full of promise. She was more than just my deaf and hard-of-hearing teacher. She taught me more than just curriculum. She taught me how to deaf out what doesn't serve me, to silence what harms and amplify what heals, to listen only to freedom and turn up the volume on my own power. She didn't just tell me to embrace my difference. She taught me where it came from, taught me to know my roots, to honor the giants who walked before me like Sojourner Truth. She told me, speak their names, let your steps carry their lesson. Because of Miss Sarah, I got used to my hearing aids. They became a fashion statement. I would try to color coordinate them with all my outfits. Without her, I don't think I would have survived high school. Miss Sarah saw me, not my broken ears, not my stuttered confidence, but the full melody of me. She saw the song inside, even when I couldn't hear it just yet. Miss Sarah was there to teach me the first verse of self-love, that I was whole and smart, even with the static. She taught me sound isn't the only language, and silence is its own kind of cadence, a space to hear the loudest unspoken. She taught me captions weren't crutches, and I wasn't crippled. I was just learning to hear in another key. Miss Sarah taught me how to tune into myself, to listen beyond the lies of what the world expects me to be. Taught me how to translate silence into strength, to recognize my own voice, even when my small and growing spirit spoke in a whisper. Because of her, I didn't just learn how to listen, I learned how to speak up and understand. These are out of time, I'm still pouring two more. This one called Survivor. Growing up, I questioned God. I would ask simple questions like, why? Why was I born in this family? Why was I born with a disability? And why did Daddy use his fist to express his emotions? Why Mama? Why me? We survivors tend to ask ourselves, why? What did I do to deserve this? We question our worth and our purpose. But Andrea Dykstra says, in order to truly love who we are, we cannot hate the experiences that shape us. So let's switch our thoughts from what's wrong with you to what's right with you. What's that light in you, that fight in you? It's time to wipe your tears. The tests, trials, and trauma you've been faced to go through, God can put your pain in a vessel, shape it as a testimony, and mold you through affliction. Your mission isn't done, so accept who you are and all you become. The weapon was formed against you, yet the battle you won. A survivor is the lotus which blooms without sun. A survivor is more than just a conqueror, more than just a fighter. It's a flower that thrives without water. It's the 1 in 4 women who are victims of a brutal fist fight. It's someone's daughter. It's the father too ashamed to speak of his abuse. It's the 1 in 2 who feel alone, and maybe you feel alone too. It's for the women who walk with their fingers crossed and a prayer on their back, chanting to God, dusk to dawn, to return safely home. It's the 1 in 4 who burn pages of their journals just to erase and escape the ache. It's 1,000 voices silenced by stigma, tongues sliced for honesty. It's the 1 in 4 who never want to feel those hands again. Better yet, just never feel again. Suicide is committed every 11 minutes by someone who pretends. They smile through their suffering, be it neighbor, coworker, cousin, or best friend, fighting to be free, to be released from depression that nails them to the mattress of their misery. Survivor is a lover shot 6 times by the person they loved and lived. Shot by the person they shared a pocket full of pinky promises with. A survivor is someone who still believes in prayer after pain. who chooses to love after trauma on trauma, a diamond after pressure. To be resilient is to enter the house of hope, walk through the doors of a new beginning, and stand on the roof of faith with tools to build independence. After all, a survivor still invites everyone in, slams the door on their pain, smiles, and chooses to live with forgiveness. All right, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. This is the last one, and that'll wrap up. I always end my performances with this piece. It's an affirmation poem to the audience and to myself. It's called A Letter to Love Yourself. Love yourself. Do not believe society's concept of beauty, because truly, you are a masterpiece. Created by the master God, you are beautiful. Your skin and bone, human, you're not made of metaphors, but your strength is fire. It's never ending, it doesn't burn out. Let no one hold your power. You're the queen, king of your tower. Breathe. So you found the strength to keep going, so hold on just a little longer. It doesn't kill you, makes you a conqueror. So you've got to be brave. David conquered your Goliath and slay. Just love yourself. And no, I'm not talking about buying a new pair of shoes with your fresh taper cut or your brows on fleek, edges sleeked, and you share the tweet and now you're feeling yourself. I'm talking about healing yourself from the roots of your core. Because if you want to acknowledge who you truly are, then what is your purpose for? So this, it's a society that made you feel like you're black is not a boastful believer. And this, it's a society that made you feel unsatisfied with the skin you're in. Fall in love with your imperfections. Skin, smile, face, collarbones, you are a blessing, and don't second guess this. Because I, and definitely, wholeheartedly, love me unconditionally. Do not believe society's standard of beauty, because truly, you are a masterpiece. Thank you, Lauren.